Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. This morning I started checking the news stories and news feeds like I do every morning about 2 a.m. And I really couldn't find anything that really fired me up, that got my attention. And I went and checked the views from yesterday, the story about the NASCAR driver Noah Gragson. It's doing pretty good. So I was thinking about not even doing a video this morning. And I asked myself, is there anything that bothers me on a consistent basis that I would like to talk about on my YouTube channel? And there is. There is something that bothers me every single day. And a lot of you aren't going to like, you're not going to like what I have to say. I wouldn't be surprised if I lose some viewers here. But I got to speak my heart. I feel like I'm being lied to. I feel like I'm being fed propaganda. There's a couple of commercials they're on every day, and I feel like I'm being fed. It's like the kind of thing with Ron DeSantis and trying to pretty up everything America does. America does no wrong. I feel like I'm being fed that. And let me say this: this video, I have nothing. This is in no way meant to insult or denigrate any American veterans. That's not who I believe American veterans, all the American veterans that joined up and went to Iraq, or Afghanistan or anywhere else, did so with good intentions, or maybe some of their own best interests. I did a video talking about this before. Back in my day, I graduated in '84, and a lot of people chose to go into the service after high school, and there was no wars then. You know, there was either Russia nuking us or us nuking them in total obliteration, or that's it. There was no conflicts anywhere. The Falklands, I think, was back in the 80s. That didn't even involve us. You know, so back then, joining the service was more of a personal, how can I get ahead in life kind of thing. How much money am I going to make? How can I go to school after this? It was a personal decision in their own best interest. And maybe that's a part of why I feel the way I do about these two commercials. This is going to be this is going to tick some people off. I remember back in the 70s when I was young and seeing my uncle was in Vietnam. My other uncle was in Korea. I remember seeing Vietnam vets coming home and peace protesters spitting in their faces. And for most of my life, I thought I couldn't even imagine that. What is wrong with these people? And I don't say that I approve of it now, but I think I can understand a little better why they were so angry, why these protesters were so angry, and taking it out on the servicemen. Okay, let's get into this. The two commercials that I'm talking about are DAV, Disabled American Veterans, and Wounded Warriors. And both these commercials, they bother me. They do. I feel like I'm being lied to. I feel like I'm being lied to by other conservative, patriotic conservative, patriotic Americans, Republicans, like George Bush, that got us into these wars, that took the wrong avenue after 9/11. Let me just put it that way. Okay, DAV, in the Disabled American Veterans video, it's kind of a stage set, and there's a guy standing out there, and there's people walking by, and he just goes up to these guys, and he said, would you like to say a word or two to a disabled American vet? And every single one of them are like, oh yes, please, can I record a video? You fought for my freedom. You fought for my safety. I think on that commercial they actually say you fought for my free. I wouldn't be free today if it wasn't for you guys. So they go in there and they start crying and they get on their knees. Thank you so much to these vets. And again, I'm not insulting the vets, but I'm asking myself the reality of the situation. Iraq, Afghanistan. Did either one of those wars make me safer? Did either one even make me feel safer? Did either one keep me my freedom? No, absolutely not. I wrote down how I felt, just so I wouldn't get it wrong here. I don't necessarily think that it's a government conspiracy to lie to me. I think it's the conservative, so-called patriotic Americans that are lying to me on the government's behalf, the government war machine. I know I sound like a 70s activist. Let's look at both these. Back in 2000, that's what both these commercials are about. Oh, let me get to the Wounded Warrior one, because that one just ticks me off too. Trace Adkins. You guys know I am no country music fan. I'm from Connecticut, and country music. This is where country music goes to die. I'm taking one of my good friends, Ron DeSantis. I'm saying that sarcastically. Taking his quote about where woke went to die in Florida. Well, this is where country music went to die, Connecticut. And on Wounded Warriors, Trace Adkins, dude with his leather cowboy hat and his deep voice, saying, they fought to keep us safe. And again, I have nothing against these. I have nothing against these wounded these wounded veterans coming back. I got to ask myself though, why isn't the government taking? If these guys are warriors and heroes, why isn't the government providing for every possible need? Especially, I just saw, this is what inspired this whole video. I saw a number on, I think it's the show Alone. I was watching a rerun. 22 servicemen, vets a day take their lives. How come there isn't more talk of that in the government? And why don't we see it more than in the commercials? Why don't we see the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines taking care of these people? Why do I just keep seeing these commercials about these heroes that I should give my money for? Because these commercials actually try to it's like a guilt trip. They fought for your freedom. They fought to keep you safe. All right, let's talk about that for a second. Keeping us safe. Did going to Iraq keep us safe? You guys remember that? Weapons of mass destruction. George Bush and who was it? Colin Powell. They were so sure they had the pointer stick and the cards and everything. We're sure he's got this. And what were those? I think they were worried about chemical weapons. Can those chemical weapons, those were like Scuds we were talking back then, could they reach the United States? No, they couldn't come anywhere near the United States. Was anybody in the United States threatened by Iraq? No. I don't know if there was talks of nukes back then, but even if there was talks of nukes, they had nothing to get here. You know what does make me feel unsafe? I'll tell you what makes me feel unsafe. Vladimir Putin showing a animated graphic of Russia bombing Florida with a nuclear weapon. Yeah, the link's right down below. You guys remember this? I think it was 2018, back when Donald Trump, it was he's still best friends with Vladimir Putin. But there's no talk of that. Iraq doesn't scare me. I don't feel like Iraq is making me that taking over Iraq, going into Iraq didn't make me any safer. It made millions of Iraqis a hell of a lot less safe. I'll tell you that. It made a hell of a lot of Iraqis dead. The same thing with Afghanistan. Did invading Afghanistan make me safer? No. It made a lot of Afghanistan citizens a hell of a lot less safe. Where was Obama? If you want to talk about 9/11, where was Osama bin Laden found? Pakistan. He wasn't even in Afghanistan. Maybe he was in some caves for a week. But, all this. So these guys go there. And I know after 9/11, a lot of these guys joined up out of patriotism. And I can understand that. And I am not ranking. I'm not insulting them. This isn't about them. But I hate being lied to. I hate these commercials where it's a guilt trip, where guys like Trace Adkins comes on here, the all-American masculine toxic male comes on there, the conservative icon, and tells me that I'm safer because of these guys, because of these wounded guys that believed everything the government said and went to war. They made a personal choice and they went there, and now it's up to me to take care of them because they kept me safe. No, that's a flat out lie. That's propaganda. That's Ron DeSantis stuff. Saying that, I don't hear anything about the weapons, what happened to the weapons of mass destruction? How did Afghanistan keep me safe? If you want to talk about feeling safe, what are you doing about Vladimir Putin? I'll have that link right down below about that incident where he actually Vladimir Putin showed a video of Russia nuking Florida just a couple of years ago. You want to keep me safe? Do something about that. All right. Leave your comments down below. I just had to talk about this because I feel like I'm being lied to in these commercials. These commercials just piss me off. They do. Let me know what you think. Have a good Sunday.